People across the state getting hit hard by property taxes as home values soar.
While homeowners deal with that sticker shock, one woman says the state is actually trying to devalue her property. Her land sits near a big project on I-70, which is creating a wildlife underpass in Genesee. Construction has been underway for a year and a half and is wrapping up, but there is one piece of the project that still has not been finished. CDOT wants land on the north side of the highway for a wildlife refuge. Alan Genesee is your reporter in the foothills. He tells us how the property owner is saying not so fast.
Traffic is pretty much back to normal now as this project is wrapping up. At times there were lanes closed, at other times lanes shifted. CDOT began the construction of the wildlife overpass in November of 2022. What they did not have at that point was a solution for where the elk would go when they reached the other side of the highway. And that is where they've run into difficulty. This is the underpass where elk will wander beneath Interstate 70, leading out to land covered in grasses and trees. A triangular-shaped plot of 17 acres, owned by 80-year-old Jerry Michaels.
It's like the bridge to nowhere.
Nowhere because Jerry believes CDOT wasn't thinking ahead.
I say it's back-asswards because they should have had a plan of what they were going to do. Once the elk come under the underpass, where are they going to go?
She owns a house tucked up by Highway 40 and has owned the 17 acres since 2000. She is ready to sell.
It is my nest egg. It's for my retirement.
Just not to CDOT. A former realtor, she and her agent had the property priced at $2.5 million.
Next slide.
At a meeting in February, a CDOT engineer went over the reasons CDOT wants the property.
If this property was developed to a certain level, that could hinder the wildlife corridor and the purpose to try to get these animals underneath the wildlife crossing.
CDOT did not directly address our question about why it started construction without the property, though it came up at the meeting.
Typically, we acquire the property prior to construction.
What CDOT did was tell Jerry Michaels it wanted the land in March of last year after construction had started and brought an offer in August, which came in at about $800,000, right?
Yes, $792.
About a third of what was asked. Now, there's been arbitration. CDOT has come up in its offer to about half of what Jerry wants, but she still won't sell. So CDOT is now moving to take the land by eminent domain, which will mean a court-determined value later. Jerry remains frustrated, believing what it's worth is far more than the state is offering.
I want them to do what they said. I want them to do what's honorable.
Using eminent domain requires that there be just compensation paid for the land. What they'll do is impanel a 3-member jury of local residents to decide what they think is a fair price. Michaels and her broker say that they have comps in this area that show it's worth $2.5 million. But this is land alongside the highway where there is significant highway noise, and that makes the value more difficult to judge. In Genesee, I'm Alan Genesee, covering Colorado First.
Alan learned about this story because he lives in the foothills, and he is your reporter in the foothills and in Boulder. If you have a story idea for him, give him a call or shoot him an email through our website, cbscolorado.com.